Hi, my name is Victor Pontus, and I started Scooter Map. Scooter Map is a app that aggregates over different scooter companies for both people riding scooters and chargers. And in this video, we're going to talk about how to start your own scooter company. So if you want to start your own version of Bird or Lime in your hometown, maybe you want to do serve an area where they're not, or you think you could do it better, or you want to try a different vehicle. There are a lot of reasons why you might want to start your own company, or if you think you can just make some money doing it. So we're going to go through the steps that you should be thinking about. Um, so I wrote this article on the Scooter Map blog, so we can just run through it on a high level. So there are a lot of new scooter companies coming out every day. My background, we went through, and you can see here I've written a bunch of different scooters. This was on a trip around the world. So I was in China for these two. This is the new Segway Max right here. This is the InMotion scooter, and this was in Singapore. I rode one of the sharing scooters there. So there are a lot of scooter companies out there. So you need to, one of the good things to think about first is how you're going to be different and uh, how you'll be successful. So what we've seen is that local businesses can work with the city government better than the big companies. So if the city government is giving out permits and you're working with them and they give you a permit, that gives you a license to be one of the few operators in the city. And it doesn't matter if some other company has billions of dollars because you have the permit to operate legally. Um, so the first thing you're going to want to do is pick a scooter, and there are a lot of options here. So these are all different Segway scooters. So Segway is the leading manufacturer right now, and they're used by a lot of different sharing companies. So a side note is I started a new company to help people start scooter companies. So that's Spring, and Spring, we make all the software to run your own scooter company, and we also sell hardware. So we partner with Segway, and then a few of the other manufacturers that you'll see below. So reach out to us if you're interested or if you have any questions. This was in China. I visited one factory here. This is the super pedestrian scooter. These jump scooters and this tier scooter are made by Okai. And then there are non-scooter options. So Razor they have a sharing service now, and they have a scooter with a seat. Revel is doing mopeds made by New. Shared in Portland has this sort of bulky cruiser type. Wheels in Southern California, started by the ex-WAG guys, is sort of like a hybrid scooter and bike. There's a lot more. So if you can buy one of the existing scooters, or you can go with an e-bike, or you can try to do your own vehicle. And what you should be thinking about is what's going to do best where with the type of streets that you're on. So if you're in San Francisco here and you have a lot of hills, you're going to want a more powerful scooter or maybe a bike. But in Santa Monica, something like that's where Bird launched, and the scooters are really popular there because it's flat and they have really wide streets and bike lanes. So we have some pricing here. You're going to be wanting to spend around $500 per scooter. And the next part is a lot of people have come to me and say, hey, I found this scooter on Alibaba. I want to rent it out. Uh, but what you need on the scooter is a way for the app to remotely communicate with the scooter. So if you're saying, hey, I'm unlocking the scooter, as a rider, it needs to hit your server and then hit the scooter. So the scooter is talking to your server constantly if it's saying lock or unlock, or the scooter is also saying I'm moving around, and your server needs to keep track of where it is. So the scooter does that by having a IoT unit, sort of like a mini phone with a cell chip, an accelerometer, GPS, and a few other things. So on the jump scooter, so this is a jump uh, scooter that's made by Segway, and you can see that I highlighted what the IoT unit looks like on the front. The IoT unit can sometimes be embedded, but you need to make sure that the scooter that you buy has an IoT unit, and at Spring we can sell you scooters that have IoT units and also uh, connect you with any IoT manufacturers if you want to do a custom scooter. So this is a couple of the leading IoT factories that I visited in China. And then the next thing that you're going to need is the rider app. So the rider app is going to be something where riders are downloading the app, uh, signing up, putting in payment information, finding scooters, and unlocking them. So here's a screenshot of what the Spring default app looks like. And so Spring will provide the software and you can do the custom branding and colors and have it totally to your specifications. So this is the white label app for Spring. And the Rider app is pretty straightforward on the software side. Like you can get a consultancy or someone to spin up a Rider app really quickly. When we launched Spring, we made the Rider app in like a few days. So that part is quick. The hard part is the other back end where um, uh, charging and repairing is going to be a huge uh, it's a huge operational issue where you need to figure out, okay, you have 100 scooters out there and you have a few employees. How do you assign which employees are going to pick up which scooters? When do you pick them up? A rider marked that they had a problem. How are you going after that scooter to make sure that that problem is resolved? How do you detect patterns of issues? How do you decide where you're deploying in the morning? So we make a operations and rider app that allows you to uh, charge and to repair your scooters. So Scooter Map, which I started a year and a half ago, has a lot of advanced tools for chargers and operations people, like optimal routing, push notifications, predictions that helps those people be way more efficient. And at Spring, we're bringing in all the learnings from Scooter Map to make new operators on Spring more efficient. We also launched a tool called canikickit.biz that goes into the scooter economics of, okay, what's your revenue going to be and what are your expenses going to be to see if you'll be profitable. And charging cost is uh, a big component of whether or not you'll be profitable. So here in the default setup, let's say you're making $17 per scooter per day, and the costs are $9.17. And you'll see if you're making money overall and how that scales with how big your fleet is. So that's a cool tool to check out if you're curious if you can make money running a scooter business. So back to starting a scooter company, you have the scooters, you have the rider app, you have the operations app that we went through here. This is some screenshots from Scooter Map. And then you'll need to get that government permit. So this is really the gating factor where a lot of people can start scooter companies, but it's tough to be able to work with the local government and make sure that you're keeping the people in your city happy and not turning everyone against scooters. So if you're able to work with the local university or the corporate campus or the city government and say, really address their concerns and work with local businesses and figure out what you need to change about your business to get all these key stakeholders happy, that's going to be a long way to making you successful. And then the last part of this article is on insurance. So a lot of cities require general liability insurance, and general liability insurance covers any damage done by the riders of the scooters. So if they hit somebody or if they get injured or anything goes wrong in the operations of the scooters, that will be covered. It doesn't cover property insurance, and we haven't found property or theft insurance as something that you can buy as a scooter company because it's high risk and the insurance companies don't know how to model that. But on the general liability side, we have some insurance broker partners. One of them is Newfront Insurance, which we mention here, and we have a couple others. So if you're looking at insurance, reach out to us and we can connect you with a couple brokers. So that's it for this article. We also launched the Spring website. So we're at spring.so, and you can check out what that looks like here. We have more information about the features that we're putting out and demos of our app on our blog, which is, if we zoom to the top, is right here. So let me know if you have questions, if you want to get started.